or another, we're either going to get some revenge on this Canary for leading us through all these illuvians, making us chase her forever, or we're going to find Solas and get some answers. Hopefully both. But this should tell us some things. This is the conclusion, I guess you can say, of our journey so far. From origins through Kirkwall, and then finally through all of Thedas, essentially. And here we are. I don't think we're in Canary lands anymore. Elven sanctuary of sorts, I guess.
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maras kata.
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Well, took care of that problem for me.
Solas.
Huh.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
Yeah, to say the least.
The Kunari believe you're an agent for someone who has taken the name Fen'Harel.
The Canary reject myth and legend. If you told them of your meeting with Mythal, they would attribute it to a demon. I am no one's agent but my own. I fear that the truth is much simpler and much worse than the Canary believe.
You're Fen'Harel.
I was Solas first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The dread wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Are you a fragment of what Fen'Harel once was? Like Mythal?
No. This is all I have ever been.
And the legends?
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever.
And in the process destroyed your own people.
Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
I don't think you freed them, I think you destroyed them.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanurus are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
Does that have anything to do with the Blight?
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. Crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
I'm smelling Andraste in all this.
Creating the Veil destroy the world.
You saw the remains of Via Dethara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. The elven legends of immortality, all true. It was not the arrival of humans that caused them to begin aging.
It was you.
It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
The Evanurus were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evanurus.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanurus down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the elven people, even if it means this world must die.
No. All you can do is destroy, apparently, buddy, and, yeah.
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this.
Doesn't make you any better.
But the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
So your lack of foresight has
What would have
been the cause of a
happened
lot
if
of death.
Corypheus had died, and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil. As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
You got the power to do that, but you can't unlock an orb? I'm not buying it.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
Like your other plans? How they always turn out so well?
You'd murder countless people.
Wouldn't you, to save your own?
Nope.
You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade.
Your fault.
It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
Your fault.
We aren't even people to you.
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
You are incapable of conceiving the possibility that you're never right.
You never cared about us. We were the means to an end.
You were people, and you deserved better. Like all the rest I've used in one hopeless battle after another.
You control the Illuvians now.
Yes. You remember Briala from Halam Sharam? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
Yes, I'm sorry. And we are almost out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
If I live, I'm coming to stop you.
I know. Take my hand. I'm sorry. Live well. while time remains.
Don't think that makes us
We did
friends.
not cause this threat. We informed the summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Qunari spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, none of us would be here to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
Well, it's decision time. Yeah, we're done with this.
You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. We have fulfilled that pledge. And now the war is over, for most of us. It is time for our soldiers to sheathe their swords and go home. To all who served, thank you. It has been an honor. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
Nice. Institutions created by men having fulfilled their purpose fall to corruption. It's just the way it is. That is one guaranteed thing that's going to repeat itself over and over and over. So, you know what? We stop it here. If anything's actually really stopped, as far as that goes, you know? Well, my Inquisitor lost her hand and the mark along with it, but Cassandra gets a copy of Swords and Shields, so it's all good, right? And this is my crew. Minus Blackwall. We kept most everybody. And everyone goes their separate way. We have the luxury of, well, living another day. But the threat on the horizon is worse than anything we faced so far, I think. Now this right here, I thought was really, really cool. So I'll read it off. In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. True enough. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Which, I mean, seriously? The whole point. Just this constant thing of, when have you saved me lately? Oh, you haven't? Oh, well then you suck. I mean, seriously? It's all the Inquisition's been dealing with. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing that they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world. At least for a time, and hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. So Solas is essentially a serial psychopath, not too different than Anders, really. Although he wouldn't see himself that way. That makes him even more dangerous, because he's incapable of conceiving the fact that he's wrong. But he's never right. I guess he's just bent on that path. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalin, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. Oh, well, that's not ominous. We're laying the groundwork for the next game. Looks like it's going to be a good one. Cassandra continued her reign as Divine Victoria, working to ensure that the Inquisition's disbanding did not allow new enemies to rise. At least as best she's able, I'm sure. Her efforts were successful, and for a time southern Thedas saw peace, allowing the Qunari and the Tevinters to weaken each other in the north. But if they're weakened, I think that's going to play into somebody else's plans. Know what I'm saying? Vivian was elected Grand Enchanter of the Circle of Magi, but her inauguration was not as triumphant as she had hoped. Those veteran mages of the Inquisition who did not return to the fold formed a new college of enchanters as a rival organization to her circle. Interesting. I wonder if that'd be a blood mage faction as opposed to Vivian's more disciplined, traditional. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. See, they're laying the groundwork for some amazingness in the next game. Liliana continued to act as the Inquisition spymaster in its final months as an independent organization. Yeah, but she was a power to be reckoned with before, and I still see her as coming up as a possible key antagonist in the next game. During this time, she shared many of her responsibilities with her most trusted agents, including Charter, Rector, and Harding. It'd be interesting to find Harding being more than she appears. Many believe that Liliana feared what lay on the horizon, was grooming successors in anticipation of the challenges ahead. Of course. Always the schemer. Liliana continued her romantic affair with the hero of Ferelden, even though their respective responsibilities often kept them apart. Whenever she could spare the time, Liliana would join her love at a villa on the Waking Sea, the house from Liliana's childhood. Those days were deeply cherished, for both saw the troubles that were to come. Sarah saw the world with the Inquisition and would continue to explore it after, always with her wifey within a remaining arm's reach. Oh, I see. Hiding her one arm, making fun of the Inquisitor. Okay, haha. The Inquisitor and Red Jenny finding a balance or counterbalance, or however they decided to make it work. Rivals could only expect the unexpected, and arrows. So many arrows. Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the Divine. Always playing pranks. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Red Jenny to give them 2 fingers. Okay. Varric took up the role of Viscount and, with the help of his friend Hawk, rebuilt Kirkwall's damaged infrastructure. Okay. So does that bring Wardens back into the fold also? Or the issue with the Wardens was resolved? Or, Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marches. Well, that sounds like Varric. Sure, absolutely. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. He really doesn't like Sebastian. Seriously. With the Inquisition disbanded, the Bull's charges returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order in Thedas. See, I wonder how he'd have turned out if we'd have kept him Ben Hasrath, and if he'd have lost his charger band, and After the Inquisition disbanded, Colin retired from active service with his dog. That is awesome. Very cool. He returned to Ferelden, establishing a sanctuary for former Templars on land Divine Victoria granted to him. Well, that's cool. With his help, many Templars shed their lyrium addiction, and those whose minds were too far gone spent their last days in comfort. Like a rehab of sorts. But yeah, good guy, man. Good guy. And he promised that should his friends from the old Inquisition ever need him, his blade would be ready. No doubts, man. I have no doubts. Him and his dog, retiring. Very cool. Dorian returned to Deventer to take his father's place in the Magisterium. Couldn't be a better man for the job, really. He'd be probably the only voice of reason. Of course, he'd have assassins sent after him every day, right? As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Well, they need something to band them together, apparently, because they're at war with the Qunari, too, so I wonder what status Dorian would eventually garner for himself. Along with Magister Meriverus Talani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to something. Okay, those fighting by Magister Pavus' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. It's because wound up being pretty good friends, man. Whether for vital information or for moral support, those talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. Interesting. Had we not been friends, I wonder if, well, he'd have been weaker or suffered somewhat. The Inquisition disbanded. Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. Well, we helped her get her affairs in order. I wonder if she would have wound up assassinated had we not helped her. Thanks to the Inquisitor's help, the Montiliers were once again permitted to trade in Orlais. Right, we got our family back on track with the nobles and all that other political crap. The next few years were a busy time as many ships with the Montilier crest were built and set sail again from Antiva's harbors. There are a lot of things that could come into play in a future Dragon Age based on the decisions you make here. I think they're making a concentrated effort on that. Soon, Rivani pirate captains with an ancient feud against Josephine's ancestors took to the seas, determined to rekindle their rivalry. Yeah. Another form of politics. Apart from Josephine's sister, Yvette, nearly eloping with a dashing pirate prince on one occasion, Lady Montilier took the development in stride. Alright then. Cole took to the road with Meriden to find a new life and a new way to be human. Wherever Meriden went to sing, people found old pains eased and hearts made happier, even if they didn't understand why. Sometimes it really just doesn't matter. Sometimes it just is, you know? After the events at the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Thedas. Well, imagine that. Answering to their own calling, so to speak. None could say where they went, but those who believed the Inquisitor's story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dread Wolf's forces were. And just how deeply ingrained into every facet of society. Now the servants are maybe have some plans to be served, and what the ancient elven rebel had planned. No doubt going to be issues with that.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
We will stop Solas, by any means necessary.
Yep, Liliana is deeply ingrained as the sole source of power here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I am looking forward to the next Dragon Age. Of course, there'll be much hype surrounding that once it's finally revealed. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. If you want to catch this entire playthrough from the beginning, click that image in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. All right, see you guys on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.